Shalom, 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 shalom. Peace and greetings to my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel. Welcome to another end of the week Sabbath class. We are A.O.I. I'm Brother Ananias.
Brother Ezekiel.
And it's an honor and privilege as always to come before you to give you another edifying lesson with hopes and regards of edifying you in the spirit and restoring us back as a nation of people. Before we get started, as always, we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahushua being His Son, who the world calls Christ. And through His strength, sacrifice, and example, we are all able to be here today on this call to be edified and uplifted in the spirit. So we want to give all praise, glory, and honor for the one of all things. But tonight's class is going to be taught by the mighty brother Ezekiel. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to my brother. It's on you, King.
All right, thank you. Shalom, everybody. Happy Sabbath. Tonight's class is going to be called Foundation of Israelite Households. That's something that's very important, how to have your house in order, what should be going on in your house with the man, woman, and child. So we're going to start it off at Colossians chapter 3, verse 18 through 19. And if you have any precepts or anything you want to bring up, brother, feel free to bring them out as well. Shalom, brother.
Shalom.
Shalom, King.
Shalom, brother. Ezekiel. Brother Ananias.
All right. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 18, and it reads, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands, as it is in..."
Submit yourselves to your husband.
Right.
And ask yourself, 50 in age, how many wives are actually doing it? But go ahead.
Let me start over. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 18. "Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as it is fit in the Lord."
Right.
Verse 19. "Husbands, love your wives, and be not bitter against them."
It said, husbands, love your wife, and be not bitter against them. The word love is an action word. We can say, I love you all day, but you have to actually do things that show that you love your wife. How do you love your wife? You love your wife by not cheating on her, by treating her like the queen she is. You know, she shouldn't wonder, do you love her? She should know that. You know, that shouldn't be a thought in her mind. You know, but we got a lot of our brothers treat the wives just like they anything off the street.
True.
And after so long, that will break the household down. That will cause problems. That will make your wife not want to submit to you because you're not doing your job. But like I said, this class is going to be going on over what the man, woman, and child should be doing in order to have a healthy Israelite household, the way we supposed to be in our natural state as Israelites. But now let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. 1 Peter 3, verse 7.
The book of 1 Peter. Get there. Book of 1 Peter, chapter 3, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
"Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered."
It says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to the knowledge. The knowledge of what? The knowledge of the Bible, giving honor unto unto the wife. It said, as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. You know, so let's get that definition of hinder. You got that?
Gotcha.
Once again, the knowledge is the truth of the Bible. Yeah.
All right. Hinder, to create difficulties for someone or something, resulting in delay or obstruction.
Right. Read one more time. It says, okay, go ahead, read one more time.
Hinder, to create difficulties for someone or something.
Right, to create difficulties. So you don't want it to be difficult, so that your prayers, when you're trying to get your prayers to the Most High, you don't want your prayers to be hindered. It says, according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. You know, so that's what we have to do. It said, as being heirs together of the grace of the light of life, that your prayers be not hindered. And we don't want our prayers to be hindered. We want our prayer to get to the Most High like flowing water. Just flowing. Don't need no obstruction.
That's right. Let me get a precept, King. It's First Ezra chapter 5, verse. Let me see. I'm gonna start with verse 72. First Ezra chapter 5, verse 72. Because like the brother bringing out, you don't want to have anything to hinder your family, hinder the structure, or hinder the building, whether your own family or other nation. But like we all know, being in this truth, that every day is a spiritual battle, and we got to fight off the ways of this world, especially these other nations, because they constantly strive to hinder the building. And that's where I'm going to bring out First Ezra chapter 5, verse 72. Says,
Yeah.
but the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea, meaning Israel, and holding them straight, hindered the building, and by secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived. So they were hindered from building from the space of 2 years until the reign of Darius. Brought that out to show you that whenever we try to build as a nation or as a family, the other nations constantly try to come up with different secret plots, persuasions, strategies to try to keep us from building as a nation. Whether it be shows like Love and Hip Hop, or songs that they put out saying independent woman, I can do it all by myself. Having all these women's rights movements where they trying to raise the woman up to be above the man and destroy the household, our household, because you don't see those things happening in the other nations. So they try to constantly use magazines and any type of magazine or media to obstruct our mindsets, the mindsets of the women and the men, but more so the women, to turn against the man, to hinder the building. So as we strive to wake up in these last days, they're going to constantly come with more and more distractions to keep us from building. That's all I want to bring out, though.
Right. And also add on top of that, you see no other nations of people where they try to put the woman is trying to be out there in front of the man, or they try to put the woman out there in front of the man.
Right.
They come knock on the white household door, they looking for the husband. Come knock on Chinese door, they looking for the husband. But when they come knocking on our door, they'll look all over you like this, looking for a woman. They looking over you behind you, looking for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But now let's go to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 through 29. Ephesians 5, 25 through 29.
I mentioned something too, brother. Right fast.
Yes, sir.
Like, I'm
Yes,
looking
sir.
right here at First Peter, what you were just at. Starting at the beginning of chapter 3, it say, likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. That mean don't be so that means the sisters, they got a real responsibility too. They got a responsibility not to be uh struggling against the man. Don't be struggling against the man. That's what this scripture is saying right here. Don't struggle against him. Don't be pulling and fighting against him. So the sisters need to be in the word, just like the man need to be in the word. Somebody in their household need to be in some righteousness. All right. If the husband is not in righteousness, the sister can, at least she could be striving to be in righteousness. She could be striving to be in. Somebody need to be in some righteousness in that house. See?
Right. Can't be blind leading the blind, because both of them gonna fall in this. Somebody gotta have some up here. Somebody gotta have some knowledge of this.
Right, exactly. Somebody got to have some knowledge of the scriptures, man, in that household. So, but it's still telling the scriptures is telling us don't be struggling against them. Don't struggle against them. Listen to what he's saying. But if he ain't listening, if he ain't giving good advice, he ain't living right, he ain't doing right. Then the sisters who are in the word can speak to the man in a calm fashion, or speak to the man in a way to where he realized, okay, I probably should listen to it. It could be, but it could be on any subject. It could be on any topic. He'll probably say, well, I probably should listen to her. She don't fight against me. She listen to me more. She do listen to me. So even though it may not even be a scriptural thing, it might not be directly dealing with the scriptures, but if something going on, and he know that she ain't fighting him at every corner, at every turn, he may listen to her from time to time, and she could get influence and be a good influence. I ain't gonna say influence, but she could bring him down a notch if he going overboard. She can calm him down a little bit if he going too far. Because she is not always in opposition to him, to where when something do come up, he don't mind listening to it. She been good all this time. Maybe I should listen to her again.
Right.
But if you always fighting that man, he ain't finna hear nothing for real. So it say,
ain't nothing
say,
wrong
brother.
Ain't nothing wrong with listening to her when when she telling you, thus said the Lord. You can't be so. We
Yeah.
know man run the household, but at the same time, you can't be so bullheaded with her. She can't tell you nothing.
But now you know what's gonna happen if it's always some contention, always a fight going on.
Mm.
If something happened that he probably should listen on, he might not listen that time because they always into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Let me read it again. Say, like the book of 1 Peter chapter 3. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husband, that if any obey not the word, that means like if a brother, he might not even be in the word. If any obey not the word, they also may be, they also may, without the word, be won by the conversation of the wives.
Right.
Because he like being around her. She ain't fighting. They ain't always into it.
Mm-hmm.
So some come up when she needs it, when she may decide to speak, and he gonna remember she ain't fighting with him. Let me see what she's saying. That was this scripture saying right here. So somebody got to be in the word, bro, in that house.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Good point, bro. From now let's go to Ephesians 5:5 and 9.
Right. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 5. For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Yahweh Hamashiach, and
brother.
of Yahweh.
There's Ephesians 5, verse 25.
5 and verse 5. You want 25?
Yes, sir. 5 and 25.
Right,
Through
Salak.
20. No
Salak.
problem.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 25.
Yes, sir.
Husbands, love your wives, even
Again,
as
love y'all, love your wives. There's something special about them wives. Again, it said, husband, love your wives. Read.
husbands, love your wives, even as Hamashiach also loved the church and gave
Right.
himself for it.
Right. You know, see, we know how much the Most High loved the church and gave himself for it. So that's how we supposed to love our wives. Read.
That
26.
he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word,
Read.
that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
Read.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies.
Right.
He
We
that
supposed
loveth his wife loveth himself.
right. We supposed to love our wives as our own body. We know how we love ourselves.
God.
We're supposed to love our wives the same way, if not more. Why wouldn't you? You married her.
God.
You know, the scripture says you become one flesh once you marry that woman.
Right.
So why not love her like you love yourself? But that's it on that. You ain't have to go to 20. Read that 28 one more time.
Verse number 28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
Right. And when that's a deep scripture when it tells you to love your wife like you love yourself. That's deep. Everybody on this call know how much they love themselves. You gotta put that much love towards your wife and wife, vice versa. It ain't just us loving y'all. Y'all got love her too.
God.
You know? But this is the thing that needs to go on in an Israelite household. We have to live by this. You know, we can't be out there like everybody else. You know, can't be in the house calling each other B's and H's because y'all having an argument
Right.
in front of the children. And we got a bunch of, you'll be surprised. Well, now you probably won't. It's a bunch of households with the woman, the man, woman, and child in the house, and they not living up to par. And the child sit back and look at how the mama, the mother and the father act toward each other. And what they do, they see how the daddy talking to the mama, they see how the mama talking to the daddy. They grow up and they doing the same thing in their household. Cause they ain't been taught no better. You know, just like mom and dad were doing all that cursing in front of them, they gonna be doing the same thing in front of their kids. Cause they ain't been taught nothing else. To them, that's normal. And what we do as an Israelite family, when we see that going on, we tell them, no, you can't go over there. That's what we tell our kids. No, you can't go over there and spend the night over there. Hell no. Can't go over there. Because we know that that's not the type of environment what they should be coming up in. But from there, let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18. Book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18.
2 and 18.
Yes, sir.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18, and it reads. Yeah. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him.
Right. He said, I would make him a help me. Let's get the definition of a help me. Some people might not know what a help meet is. We're going to get the definition. For the ones that don't know, what is a help me?
Helpmate. a helpful companion or partner, especially one's husband or wife.
Right. Read it one more time.
Helpmate, a helpful companion or partner, especially one's husband or wife.
Right. Husband and wife, we are companions to one another. It says, help me. Read it one more time, brother.
A helpmate, a helpful companion or partner, especially one's husband or wife.
Right. It said helpful. So that woman, that wife, she's supposed to help you. Help you in what? Help you in everything. She's not there to be in your ear nagging all the time. Not saying she can't tell you when you in the wrong, but you got some women that go overboard. You got some women that even when you in the right, she gonna tell you you in the wrong.
Right.
Got some women that's gonna anything you do is never gonna be right. You can come home and cook dinner for them, and they gonna complain. But she's supposed to be a help me. She's supposed to be just like you at work. She's supposed to make sure the kids straight. You're not supposed to come home from work and have to worry about cleaning up or taking care of the kids or this and that. She's a help me. She's a help me. So, and you know, I'm not saying that all women are like that, but you got some that are. If you got your woman in your life, a wife in your life that's being that help me that you need her to be, then all praises. But there's a lot of us that don't. You know, a lot of time that would keep that anger built up in the black man. He ain't getting no peace at the job. He ain't getting no peace out there in the street. And he come home and he ain't got no peace. He can't never really wind down. He always wind up all the time. He can't never just take that deep breath and kick them feet back, and the opportunity never presents itself for him to be able to do that. You know, the woman is supposed to be a help, and by being that takes a lot of stress off of your husband. You know, if you being the right type help me, you can overdraft, and he might not go berserk when you overdraft. But if you ain't being that help me with you, he needs you to be you overdraft, you might snap. You might snap, but you got to be that right type help me. You know, y'all got that. But from now, let's go to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 23. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 23.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, and verse 23. For the husband is the head of the wife,
Right?
even as Hamashiach is the head of the church.
We already read that, then read again.
For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body.
Right. Well, the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. So we already been off into that. But like I said, the husband is the head of the wife. So some women, the wives, some wives can accept that, and it's no problem, and it's good. Some wives can't accept it and will refuse to accept it. Some wives will hear that and refuse to accept it, but they will eventually accept it. You know, some women like for the husband to leave, and then you got some women can't stand for the husband to leave, and that comes from them being caught up in this world.
That's
But
right.
if if the husband is leaving, that kind of make them they feel like they're being weak. I don't need no man to lead me. I can lead my own way. But believe me, You would love, if you got a real man leading you, you would much rather him lead you than you lead yourself. Because you might lead yourself straight into the ditch. A ditch. A husband that's leading, he gonna see that ditch before you get to it. He gonna make you detour. You gonna take another route, so you don't get stuck in traffic.
Let me get a precept.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse. Let me see. Yeah. Book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So this is the order that was set up from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like the brother going into, you would rather have that man in charge making that decision anyway, because that's how it was set up. You know, your desires, your wants, your needs gonna come through your husband. And it was set up that he would rule over you. Why? Because in the beginning, when they went off, he pointed back at the woman to give blame. The woman pointed at the snake, or not the snake, but the serpent. Excuse me, I ain't mean for that to come out like that. But everybody was pointing the finger. So the Most High set it up where the man gonna be the one who gonna have to answer for that. And if she got to come to the man, he got to get her okay. So if something go wrong, somebody got to be held accountable. Therefore, the wants and the desires have to come through the man, and he gonna have to make the final call. But today, a lot of our brothers don't know these things. Therefore, everything is out of order. Therefore, a lot of women are put in a position trying to be the man, and that's due to sin and popular persuasion pushed in the media, in society. But it's on you, King.
Yes, sir. Good point, brother. So now let's go to Proverbs 18, verse 22. Proverbs 18, 22.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 22.
Yes, sir.
Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth. Whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
So a wife is a good thing. Read.
And obtaineth favor of the Lord.
Right. It said, whoso find a wife findeth a good thing. So all the brothers out there, you might be living with women or hollering about I ain't never getting married. The scripture said he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. You should want a wife, you know. Because if you don't have a wife and you're seeing somebody 9 times out of 10, you in sin. So why not make that woman your wife? It's a good thing. You see what I'm saying? If you've been dating her for a long time, she probably waiting on you to marry her. Ask her to marry you. But a wife is a good thing. A lot of brothers speak down on marriage. Or might try to talk down on you for getting married. But you know they in the word. A righteous man want a wife. It sounds funny. Somebody 48 years old talking about I got a boyfriend or a girlfriend. That's crazy.
Right.
Precept.
You 100 years old talking about you got a girlfriend. How can you call a 50-year-old woman a girl? You're supposed to have a wife or a husband. You can't call no 50-year-old man a boy. I got a boyfriend. And we so crazy we don't even think about it.
Wow.
Call you her boyfriend? Yeah, I'm a boyfriend. You ain't no boy, man.
You accept that title.
Right. You accept the hey. But imagine this. When last time you seen Moab talking about when last time you seen a 50-year-old Moab man talking about his girlfriend? 50-year-old Moab man talking about my woman talking about my boyfriend. They probably get put to death for that in they country. Boyfriend and girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, precept.
Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4.
Mhm.
Marriage is honorable,
That's right.
and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. So society will tell you one thing, hey, you know, it ain't even worth getting married. You know, she can get half of this, she can get this, she can get that. The Lord said marriage is honorable. When you're thinking about marriage in a Western mindset, you're going to think like that. You're going to think running around sleeping with any woman that walk is a good thing. But to deal with the one you so chose to be with, that's something abnormal. Being here in this society, once again, dealing with them popular persuasions that you see on TV and the narrative that these influencers or celebrities put out there, we will follow behind them thinking that they live in some type of righteous life or they know what's going on. But we follow them, but the Lord say marriage is honorable.
Mm-hmm.
It's on you though, King.
You get a precept, King.
Go ahead, brother.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse number 22. And it reads, the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. Right. So the beauty of a woman, it can cheer a man's countenance. Right. Imagine your wife, she dressed up when you come home, the dinner ready, right? Your favorite movie already on, you know what I'm saying? Your glass of wine already poured. You know, those type of things will actually help a man in his walk, right? Help a man continue to provide and to protect his household. You see what I'm saying? Because a man loves nothing better than that, right? Just a silent and obedient woman, right? That listen to what he say, right? That do as he asks. It say in verse 23, if there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men, like the brother was going into earlier. Like, how can you go to war at work, go to war in the streets, right? And then come home and go to war again, right? That's an all-out war. That's a year-long war, you know, constantly in battle all the time, always in the trenches, always watching your shoulder, over your shoulder, you know. It say in verse number 24, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, a pillar of rest. So the woman should be a pillar of rest, right? When the man come home, you should be a pillar of rest. Somebody he can come home to and have some rest, some peace, some relaxation, and to be able to rejuvenate himself to be able to fight the world again and to fight the battles. See, a lot of women, you know, you never know what might be on that man's mind, right? His job, his natural job is to serve his protect his family and provide for them. This man might be coming up with business plans. He might be coming up with new ideas to try to uplift his family. But then guess what? Those ideas get chopped down in half, right? A lot of times when you want to cause commotion, right? When you come in and just nag about this and that, right? Talk about the trash. We talking about little things, you know. It's always good to be that pillar of rest. One more precept. Say in verse number 25, where no hedge is, there's the possession. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. And you brothers out there who say, I don't need a wife. I don't need a wife. I'm a eunuch, right? Hey, all praises if you are. But at the end of the day, you got to be real with yourself. The Lord said, hey, if you don't have no wife, you're going to walk up and down mourning, right? Next thing you know, you find yourself on lewd sites. Next thing you know, you talking about you don't need a wife, but you in a strip club, right? Trying to find a one-night stand, right? So, hey, you brothers who act like you don't need a wife, you know, hey, you got to check yourself. Check your spirit and see, hey, do I really need a wife? Because the Lord said, hey, it's better to marry than to burn. But you got it, King.
Good point. It's better to marry than to burn. Because a man gonna be a man. And if you ain't married, being a man might have you to burn. You see what I'm saying? But from there, let's go to Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10 through 12. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10 through 12.
The book of Proverbs,
Book of
chapter 21.
Proverbs.
You got it.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 10 through 12. Who can find a virtuous woman? for her price is far above rubies.
Hold on right there for a second. Brother Ananias, can you there you go. Get that definition of virtuous.
Virtuous, having or showing high moral standards. Righteous, good, moral, morally correct, ethical, upright, upstanding, having or showing high moral standards.
Read one more time. Your phone went in and out. Read one more time for me, please.
Virtuous,
Yes, sir.
having or showing high moral standards.
Right. Having or showing high moral standards. That's being virtuous. Continue, Abaya.
Yes, sir. Verse 11. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
So by her having no high moral standard, it said the heart of her husband safely trust in her, that he shall have no need of spoil. Read 12.
She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life.
And that's what we want. We want that woman with high moral values who's gonna do us, who won't do us no evil, what it said, and do us only good all the days of her life. That's what we want. You know, we ain't got to be at work stressed out wondering what's going on at the house. Wondering is Jody there. Because we have a virtuous woman at the house. You understand? That's what we want. If you don't want a virtuous woman, you might well not want no woman, period.
Bring it up.
But that's the type of woman that should be in your household, a virtuous woman. Otherwise, you're gonna be stressed out, wondering what's going on. Can't trust her. What they say, I can't trust you no farther than I can see you.
Dang.
She got to be in your eyesight for you to know everything is all right. That's not what you want.
Right. Yeah,
But,
precept.
yes, sir.
You got Sirach chapter 26.
What is it?
Sirach 26, 1 through 3.
So you got it. Go ahead.
It's the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26, verse 1. Says, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. So a man that got a virtuous wife, his days will be double. That's a woman that has or shows high moral standards. It said, for the number of his days shall be double. That man gonna live a longer life than a man that got a woman that's contrary to being virtuous. When she the complete opposite, she always nagging, getting on his nerve, always being a nuisance. He gonna end up dying ahead of his time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2 says, a virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall be full and shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. So if she's a woman that has or shows high moral standards, know how to conduct business, know how to handle herself, know how to talk, how to carry herself in a righteous manner, that man is going to live a peaceful life. His days will be double. Verse 3 says, a good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in portion of them that fear the Lord. A good wife is given to them that feareth the Lord. Understand that. So men, when you look for wives, the main thing you should be looking for is for a virtuous woman. And that's a woman that's showing high moral standards. Fear the Lord, and she's righteous and submissive. Why? Because she's going to be the type woman that's going to be a helpmate to you. She's not going to work against you, but work with you to help you accomplish your goal. But she also going to help to add on to your life, to bring peace to your life.
Right.
And like you said in Proverbs, that's more rare than rubies. When the last time anybody seen a ruby? So in this society today, we know how rare that is. But it's on you, King.
Right. Good precept, buddy. And like I said, titled class the foundation of a Israelite household. This is how we want our household to be set up. Virtuous women in the household, obedient children in the household, men that lead the household. That's how our household should be set up. But from there, let's go to book of Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1.
All right. Book of Proverbs, chapter 14, and verse number 1. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
Right. Every wise woman building her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hand. Wise woman, she's gonna be doing what she needs to do to allow her house to be built. She's not gonna go against everything her husband has to say, everything her husband is trying to do. You know, she would be foolish if she sees she got a husband that's trying to lead, trying to do the right thing, uh, trying to raise the children the way they should be raised. Every time, if he's a man raising boys, and every time he get on those boys, if you the type of woman can't stand to see your husband chastising his boys, and you want to call the police to intervene, like I know somebody that happened to trying to chastise his boys, and that thing, his wife calls the police to stop him from chastising his boy. You tearing your house down.
Right.
Why would you call the police when your husband, you got 4 kids by your husband, 4 boys, and he there with you, married to you, taking care of you and them boys, but you won't let him chastise his boy?
Now
You have to
imagine if one of them boys try to jump on her. Who's she gonna look for then?
right.
The
And he
husband.
what if the husband say, "Hey, I'm gonna call the police. He gonna be on their ass until they get here though." You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
right. But you tearing your house down. And right now their house has been tore down because they no longer together.
Mm.
4 kids by the same man married. But you calling the cops because he trying to chastise his boy.
That's messed up, man.
You done tore your house down. Yeah, it's messed up. You done tore your
It's
house
hard to
down.
listen. It's hard to listen to some of this stuff, man. But we got to listen to it. We got to acknowledge these things.
Right.
Man, let me pull up precept up right fast, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, this book of Job, chapter 39, verse 17. Because God hath deprived her of wisdom,
Mm.
neither hath he imparted to her understanding. That's pretty much what I'm listening to right now.
Mm-hmm.
You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, which I don't know the brother, but you know, I'm hoping that he wasn't in there trying to kill nobody. He was just in there trying to correct his children.
That's all.
If he in there just trying to correct them and get them to turn from their evilness, and actually he was being obedient to the Most High by doing that. He was being a good father to them children and keeping the commandments of the Most High by correcting his children.
Right. Yes, sir.
That's being obedient to the scriptures right there. That's keeping the commandments right there.
Mm-hmm. Battle run spoil the child.
Mm.
But from now, let's go to we've been in Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs 12 and verse 4. It's going back into that virtuous woman again. Brother Ananias, read that definition of virtue one more time.
I done misspelled it. It is
Let me
what
get
it
a
is.
precept while y'all looking for that.
It said having or showing high moral standards.
virtuous woman having or showing high moral standard. All right. So 12 and verse 4, Proverbs 12 and 4.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is rottenness in his bones.
Right. We want that virtuous woman. Is a crown to her husband. If you're a virtuous woman, and I'm proud to have you walking down with you on my arm. I'm proud to say, yeah, that's my wife. You know what I mean? I love to say that. That's my wife right there. Ain't no embarrassment, ain't no shame. But it said, but she that make it, hold up, but she that make her ashamed. If I'm ashamed, it said, you're rottenness in my bone. You know, you out there wearing them skimpy clothes and you supposed to be my wife. No, you're rottenness to my bone. I ain't quick to call you my wife. Let everybody know that you mine. You supposed to be my wife. You out there looking dressed like that. I'm embarrassed. Matter of fact, you go by yourself because I ain't going with you. If I can't get you to be modest, some of these men I see be out of Walmart. I don't know if it's their wives or their girlfriend or whatever, but women be dressed like like they just tell them, hey, look at me. That's basically what they say. Hey, look at me. Want the attention. Oh, right. It says, read it one more time.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
And that's what we want, our women to be a crown to us. As every man should want. That's just normal. That's natural. Us want, us want our women in those skin tight clothes showing all their curves and breasts all out. That come from us not being in our natural state. But right now, we'll see another woman out there like that instead of everybody shaking their head like that don't look right. Everybody eyes wide open, where our forefathers would probably pull their brother to the side. Hey man, what's wrong with your wife? What's wrong with you? Let her be out here like this.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones.
Right. We need y'all, the women, to not make us ashamed. We don't need that rottenness in our bones. And now let's go to 19 and 14. Same book, Proverbs 19, 14.
Let me get a precept, okay?
All right, go ahead, bro.
Rock chapter 7 and verse number 19. Forego not a wise and good woman, for her grace is above gold. So the Lord said, a good woman, right? Meaning a woman who keeping the commandments, walking uprightly, right? Being faithful to her husband, right? Being a peacemaker at home, being a pillar of rest. That's a good woman according to the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
The woman who don't allow abominations in her house, right? The woman who listens to her husband, the woman who teaches her kids. That's what the Lord considers a gold woman. And the Lord says she is like gold. Gold is one of the most when the economy drop, right? Gold is what actually is what you want to buy. Because guess what? Gold is not going to lose its value, So even when the economy drop, guess what? That good woman, she ain't gonna lose her value, right? When all the money start piling in, bills start looking crazy, she ain't gonna lose her value because of her mindset, because she keep the law, statutes, commandments, because she's a good woman.
That's right.
God.
Yeah, King.
God.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I say something too, brother?
Mm-hmm.
And it's rare. It's rare too. Not only is it valuable, but it's rare.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you sisters out there that are being good wives, we give all praise to the Lord for that thing, man. We give our sisters a hand for the ones who are actually striving to keep the commandments, be a peacemaker, hey, uplifting our nation, because that's how you uplift a nation. Like the brother brought out earlier, you don't see the other nations, they women and they men just going back and forth. No, they in order, right? Not that we looking at them for an example, we're looking at the scriptures, but we can see that when everything is in order, guess what? They nation gonna be in order. When everything is in order, they're gonna be on top. What about us? If we get in order, we'll be back on top. So the women being obedient and coming back and being one with their husband, being one flesh, those women are actually helping our nation out to get further us, well, to get us out of this captivity faster. Right. See what I'm saying? And it's helping rebuild our nation. But you got it, King.
One more thing I like to mention too, bro. Just another analogy that I like to mention. Just as fine gold is rare and valuable, we also got to be be aware of the imitations out there. The gold field, where it's just gold plated, electric plated. Gotta watch out for them too, cause they out there looking shiny and glistening, glittery, and you think you got something that's authentic. You know, you just got somebody just they just faking it. They just faking it till they make it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or they think that they think they living by that motto. You know. Right. But then once you start to handle them, once you start being around them, and not using it, but you accessing and being around this woman, you start trying, then you start wearing all that wearing their gold off. You start seeing what's really under there.
Right.
But somebody just
then your neck turn green.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You got a blister on your finger.
Damn.
Right.
Hey, sometimes people got to get rings cut off their finger too. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Ring get so tight, they start, you know what I'm saying, getting a swollen finger. Start infecting them.
Come from them chemicals. So I guess I don't know where it come from.
Right.
But it's not what it's advertised as. Tell you like that. It's not what it's advertised as. You gotta be aware of that too. And that's the reason why you gotta try. You got the gold is tried in the fire. So everything gotta get tried in the fire. Brothers gotta get tried in the fire. Sisters gotta get tried in the fire. Everything gotta get tried and refined. As gold is refined. You can refine them costume stuff. You ain't gonna refine it in the fire. But you can refine it, but it's gonna come out. It's gonna be something else when it come out. It ain't gonna be gold. It ain't gonna be purified. It's gonna go in looking like gold. It's gonna come out being something else. We got to watch out for too. Yeah, right.
It come out like lead. It'd be lead instead. Yeah, lead.
Right.
Gold.
Right. It feel like it's heavy, just like gold. You got that electric plate on there. Might have that gold spray paint on there. It's real gold.
Right.
But before you know it, you got blood poisoning. You've been dealing with something that ain't real. But that's what you tried in the fire, was something being utilized, something being proven, and then what's real go endure, and what ain't is gonna be revealed. It's gonna fall apart.
Right. Good point, brother. Yes, sir. All right. Now let's go to Proverbs 19, verse 14.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 19 and verse 14. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord.
And a what?
And a prudent wife is from the Lord.
Okay, so let's get that definition of prudent. Find out what prudent means.
Prudent, acting with or showing care and thought for the future.
Right. So a woman like that is a from the Lord. You know, that's a gift from the Lord. It says acting or showing care and thought for the future. Because you got some women that just living day to day.
Right.
Some women ain't thinking about how to get the kingdom.
Okay.
Some people, some women just wanna, hey, what we doing tomorrow? Let's hit the club tomorrow. We just hit it yesterday.
Mhm.
Let's hit it tomorrow. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. Ain't got no thought for the future. Ain't thinking about the world to come. Everybody think that this is just it. This world what we see today. That this is just it. Nobody thinking about a lot of people not thinking about what's to come. They say they believe in heaven, they know it's a God, they believe in the Bible, but you ain't doing nothing to prepare yourself for what's to come. You living for the day. You 30 years old thinking you got 30 more years when 30 more years ain't guaranteed.
Come.
I'm get myself right in the next 10 years, so you might not live the next 10 minutes.
Right.
People think cause they youth, they got time to get themselves right. Cause they believe in the scripture, but they just don't want to do what the scripture say. They think in a few more years they'll wise up and start living right. You might not have enough time to start living right.
Okay. Okay.
Read that prudent definition. Okay, it's right there. Acting
Got you.
with or showing care and thought for the future. And it's
Hey,
too
read
many.
some of the synonyms.
Wise, well judged, judicious, sagacious, sage, shrewd, advisable. Let's see what else we got. Well advised, sensible, cautious, careful, wary, circumspect, farsighted, forearmed,
Right.
forehanded, economical, extravagant. Oh,
Mm.
Hey, I even see thrifty on there. Thrifty. Smart move too. A lot of women be couponing, saving money for
Yeah.
the household.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's looking out for your house. That's being looking out for the future of your and the well-being of your house.
Okay.
that's right.
So yeah.
And like you said, brother E, you right. That make a lot of these sisters, they want to, say live day to day, and they're not looking for the future. They're not
Mm-hmm.
looking forward for the future. But a prudent woman will, you
Mm-hmm.
know, putting back, knowing how to save,
Yeah.
making schedules and appointments for important things, not for vacation trips. Well, it's not saying that's a bad thing, but doing things that's important. And that's important that we have prudent women in our nation.
Hmm.
Right. From there, let's go to the book of Matthew 19 and verse 9. After that, we're gonna get into a couple of scripts by the children for me. Matthew
God,
19.
Call it out again, brother.
I'm sorry. Matthew 19, verse 9.
God. The book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away, doeth commit adultery.
Right. So that let you know you can't put your wife away for anything except adultery.
Mm.
It said, whosoever shall put his wife away except it be for fornication and shall marry another committed adultery. So you would be committing adultery if that was to happen. And whoever was to marry your wife, which is put away, also commit adultery. So when we are married, we have to that give you incentive to make sure when you do get married that you're marrying the right one. It goes to proving a person. Like the scripture say, prove that person. That's why it's in there. Prove that person. It can't go over
Mm.
off of looks. You know what you like, the attributes you see in a woman. She might got all the attributes you see, and for scenery, but you have to prove that one because
God.
say once you have with your wife and then she commits adultery, she's your wife. So you have to remember that.
So, like you say, you had to prove them first. So that scripture say, don't be hasty, be not hasty to credit somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That can go off into proving as well.
Yes, sir.
I'm not quite sure. Let me see. If any one of y'all brothers know what this scripture is.
That's
To
exactly what it
prove a
said.
friend, say something like be not hasty to prove a friend.
Be not hasty to credit
I
him.
mean, be not hasty to credit a friend.
Sirach chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
Hmm. That also can be applied to getting involved with your wife there. You know, like somebody you say, well, you just want to be in a rush to go to second base or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to be in a rush to say that's your wife, knowing good and well you had thoroughly investigated or approved that individual. Because then if you do something like that, then you may come to find out that that person there is not really the right person. Then next thing you know, you can put her away, and then now you committing adultery, and you got somebody else committing adultery as well because you was hasty and
Come,
to credit that individual. So you
come.
should have took your time.
Right.
We get a precept here in the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 29. Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains. So you women who are out here proving a man, don't bring every man into your house. Get to know that man first. Get to know him for 6 months. Get to know him for a year before you
Right.
bring somebody into your house. Because, hey, guess what? Your body is a house as well. You are a spiritual temple. Don't let that man and allow that man into your house before you prove that man. Because now that you're in this truth and you know that if you lay down with a man, that is your husband, right? So, hey, you don't want to bring every person in your house because, hey, guess what? If you don't know that person, guess what? Your laptop might be missing, right? Your potato chips might be missing. Your favorite pen that you like, your child's Xbox might be missing. You know, you don't bring every man into your house, and next thing you know, your spirit missing as well because they took your soul from you, right? So you have to watch your spirit and watch your house, your temple, and take care of yourself and prove a friend and be not hasty, like the brother brought up, to credit that person. Don't be hasty to credit a brother off his looks. Don't be hasty to credit a brother off his credit score, the way how big his house is, right? How big his car is, right? He got 30 pair of J's, right?
Right.
Don't be hasty to credit him. You know, you have to be watchful and watch who you allow in your house. But you got it.
Yes, sir.
God.
All right. All right. Good point, bro. Okay. From now, let's go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. How you want these kids coming up in this Israelite household?
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Right. So we gotta teach our children why we tell them to honor us. Why you must obey mother and father that your days may be long. A lot of kids might know, okay, I know I supposed to do what my mom and dad said, but do they know why? Do they know the benefits from being obedient? It says so that that days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. So we gotta let them know, hey, you honor, you obey your mom and your father, your mother and your father. The Lord gonna make sure you live a long life. That's how you make your days long. Being obedient to your mom and your dad, and also the Most High. You know, a lot of kids just know I supposed to do what my dad said, but they need to know why. They need to know the benefit from it to give them uh motivation or incentive to, okay, I'm trying to live that long life. I'm gonna make sure I do what my mom and dad say. You know, a lot of kids, uh, are not being taught that the Most High will do something to them. Also, you get we can't teach like teaching the kids that the Most High is all love all the time. That's a big mistake. We got to let them know. We got to put the fear of the Lord in them. If we tell them the Lord ain't gonna never won't ever do something to them, why would they want to do right
Come on.
or do what should be done? Conduct themselves the right way. They think the Lord is all love. They think they can do anything and it's okay with the Most High. But we have to, just like we teach them God is good, we gotta let them know He's a terrible God also.
Right.
But from there,
You
go to
mentioned something too. Mention something else if I can, bro.
yes, sir.
You supposed to honor. I would say, supposed to. Thou shalt honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long. This is what you just went over in Exodus 20 and 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. And you're supposed to listen to them, supposed to pay attention what they're teaching you. Why? Because these are things that a obedient Israelite is supposed to be taught to do. They are supposed to be taught to keep the commandments of the Most High. So if you teach your children about the Most High, and you going over what the commandments are, you going over the child's nationality, you going over the laws that the Most High gave us to live by.
Mhm.
You need to be listening to those parents and honoring them, because you are teaching that child, that child is being taught about the Most High. So if that child refuse to honor that parent that who is teaching them about the Most High is going to take that personal. He will take it personally,
Mm.
because that parent is teaching that child about the Most High, and that child is not giving that parent no honor. The Most High is taking that very personally. That's an insult to him,
Mm.
because his obedient sons and daughters down here teaching their children about him, which they actually are teaching that child about their father. See, the children are the children are the parents' children, true enough, but they the Most High children. So they down there, the brothers and sisters, are teaching this other brother and sister about their father, and they don't want to respect them for that. That child don't want to respect them for that, for being taught about the Most High.
Mm.
That's insulting to the Most High.
Yes, sir. That's right.
There you go, brother.
Yes, sir. All right. From now, let's go to Proverbs 29:15. We've been in Proverbs all night. Proverbs 29:15.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 29, and verse number 15. And it reads, the rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame.
Right, it said the rod and reproof give wisdom. Cause when you put something on him, he gonna learn not to do that no more. He gonna learn right from wrong. Because you're not putting a rod on him, he's gonna continue to do wrong. You haven't did anything to show him that that's wrong what he's doing. And it said if you're doing that, it said it shall bring his mother to shame. She's gonna be embarrassed to see my child did this, my child did that.
Come.
It said the rod of reproof give wisdom. Basically saying you shouldn't have no problem with putting something on their butt, giving them some get right.
Right.
But a lot, like I said, what it said, the women shall bring forth monsters. That what your child will become if you're not doing that. Put something on them. And you can't wait till they 16, 17 years old. They try to tighten up on them. It got to start from a young age.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. Hey, and brother, if I can make a point on that, it say the rod and reproof. I mean, you're supposed to be reproving your kids, talking to them, telling them what's wrong and what's right. You know, and when they come to you with a question, you ain't always got to say, because I said so. You know,
Right.
Explain why they doing something, explain what they did wrong, explain how they should do it the next time, right? And then, hey, the next time, guess what? The rod, because I've told you before, you know. But we have to be patient with our children, and we got to reprove them, because that's going to give them wisdom, right? That's going to allow them to make better decisions, right? Because if you spank your child before they touch that stove, hey, he might not touch it, because now he has gained wisdom, right? He know that, hey, my mama really trying to save me from touching the stove because I know it's hot. She knows it's hot. See what I'm saying? But we have to work on reproving our children so we can give them wisdom, right? Correcting them in the error. It said if you leave a child to himself, it's gonna bring shame to your mother. Next thing you know, they singing rap music, talking about murdering their own people, right? Waving pistols around in the air, right? Terrorizing the neighborhood, becoming a nuisance and a menace to society, right? Becoming that oppressor that the scriptures talk about in the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, right? That children would be our oppressors. That's what they become when we're not reproving them and putting the rod on them at home. You got it, King.
All right, there's a precept to what we just was saying. We're gonna go to Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes.
Right. So if you love your child, you gonna chastise them. Because why are you chastising them? Not only for the fact that they doing wrong, you chastising them because you don't want them to go out there and do something to get themselves killed, get themselves locked up. If you ain't never chastised them, they gonna think everything is okay and end up doing something that will get them killed or locked up. Either or they might even go out there and kill somebody else. Hey son, don't play with guns. Hey son, you don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. You know, if your son out there selling drugs and you asking him let you borrow $100 to pay your car note, hey, you just wrong as hell. You know. But go to one more before we close it out. And there's book of Proverbs 22, verse 6.
Hey, I had one more point, King.
Go
One
ahead,
more
bro.
point, real quick, on the reproof. But like, if we don't reprove our kids, who gonna reprove them? They gonna get reproved some type of way, right? Some type of way they gonna get reproved. It might not be for good, it might be for bad, right? You don't reprove your kids in the house. Guess what? Johnny boy down the street, he gonna teach them how to cook dope. Johnny boy gonna reprove him. He gonna tell, hey, no, you doing it wrong. You got to add this ounce. No, man, you got to put this bullet in this clip, right? Getting reproof in all type of evil manners, right? So we have to reprove our children before somebody else does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reprove them in wickedness, reprove them in evil. That's what this world gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to reprove them under these commandments, teach them the right ways before somebody else teach them the wrong ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll think in their mind that they're doing right, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Lord said, "Woe to him that call evil good and good evil."
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you got it, King.
That's a good point. Good point. All right, we're gonna bring out this last scripture. Dealing with these kids, and this scripture is very important. And it's gonna be Proverbs 22:6. Proverbs chapter
Okay.
20.
The book of
The book,
Proverbs, chapter 20. You got it, brother.
yes, Salaki. The book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he would not depart from it.
Right, train up a child, not train up a 18-year-old, not train up a 19-year-old, train up a child. It says, train up a child in the way he should go. Show him the way he should be going. And when he is old, when he get older, he will not depart from the law. He's still gonna remember what you have as a parent instilled in him. He will have the fear of the Lord in him when he's older. Therefore, he won't depart from the law. And that's what we have to remember to teach our kids. It ain't teaching them how to shake their ass when the sun come on and all that. How you see the little kids want to dance and all that, and they think it's so cute. It ain't about that. Train them up in the law so they won't depart from it when they're old. And I think with that, when we do that, we'll become a better nation. And we probably can change the trend that's going on now once more of us start doing that. But that's all I had on the class for today, for tonight. And hope everybody got something out of it. If anybody got something to say, feel free.
Yeah, I'd like to go back on something, brother, if I can.
Mm-hmm.
You just went over in Proverbs 22,
Mm-hmm.
verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Mm-hmm.
What I'd like to also mention on that is that you people out there, if you have children and you do not teach your children the truth of these scriptures, you are pretty much, it's a very good chance you are destroying your grandchildren. You are destroying it's a very good chance that you are ruining their lives, because it's gonna take time for people to get this truth if they don't get it early. You know, it's a good chance they might not come to the understanding of this truth. Everybody don't wake up. Everybody don't get to understand. You giving your children a head start and a greater chance at understanding these scriptures if you give it to them early, if you give it to them young. Let me go to the book of Ephesians, chapter. Now, first I'm gonna go based off of that scripture in Proverbs. Train up a child in the way he should go. So go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7. Say, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, Those are the commandments. Those are the statutes and judgments that we are to teach to our children. That you should fear the Most High and keep His commandments and His statutes. I'm gonna jump over here I'm gonna go up here to Deuteronomy chapter 6. Started at 6. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear the Lord thy God. So you got to have some fear. All right, fear. This ain't the Christian church. This ain't no Christian Sunday school lesson up here. We teaching you to fear the Most High, that thou mightest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all His statutes and His commandments which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, in all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. So that's going to your grandchildren right there. You teaching to your son and thy son's son. So you got a responsibility not only to yourself, you got a responsibility to your children, you got a responsibility to your grandchildren.
Mm.
Moving on down, let's move on up a little further here. Oh, let me jump up, go down to Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Talking to the Israelites.
That's right.
You're learning your business right now. You ain't learning nobody else's business but your own.
Mm-hmm.
Learn your own business. Learn about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now I'm going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. So that's you talking about these commandments, statutes, and judgments. You talking about these things to your children. When you first wake up, you rested. When you're working throughout the day, you're talking to them, you're getting tired. Then you now it's time for you to get some rest. Now you got to get some rest. You're still talking to them all throughout the day. When you first wake up, rested, doing the work that's getting you tired, and then when it's time for you to get some rest, you're talking to them. Then you're still talking to them, still talking to the children. See, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gate. So not only you talking to your children about these scriptures and these commandments, but you write them down different places. They can't get away from it. They gonna learn these commandments. That's being a good. That's being obedient to the Most High. You teach your children like you should now.
That's
Now,
right.
then let me go to Ephesians right fast. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. Well, let's start at verse 6. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Excuse me. Salaki. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. So that goes into honoring your parents right there. They teaching they teaching y'all children, they teaching y'all about the Most High. Most High got their back. Okay, the Most High got your parents back because they teaching the children about Him. If parents teach your children about the Most High ain't gonna let y'all mistreat them parents and get away with it.
Right.
Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. In the Lord, that means these parents who are keeping the commandments. But this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. Verse 4. Ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. If you don't teach your children these commandments, they're gonna catch hell in this world, and they're gonna be furious and angry, and they might develop tumors and everything from being deprived, living a deprived life. They might develop tumors, headaches, be ticked off all the time, don't know why they got anger issues, because they've been breaking the Most High's commandments, and the Most High been putting extra curses on your children, and your children go suffer greatly. And then now they had an alcohol problem. Now they got cirrhosis of the liver. Now they got high blood pressure. Now they a pill head, a weed head, because they're trying to cope with the pain. Because you provoked them to wrath, to where they ain't gonna be happy. They ain't gonna have no peace. And you fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. See, don't do them like that. You got to hate your children to not teach them about these scriptures the right way. You truly got to hate them, because you're gonna provoke them to wrath. But bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. All right, bring them up in the Most High. Bring them up in His Son. That's how you show your children. Some nurture them right. All right, be a better parent than I seen some spiders and some damn crabs and stuff be better parents than what a lot of us had. Seen insects, wasps and stuff be better parents.
Wow.
I seen the wasp build a thing and stuff. It was stuffing it so full of food for them children. Well, nobody go eat it but the offspring.
Mm.
Giving them a chance at life. I was just like, wow, look at these insects. They doing all this for their offspring, so their offspring can have a better chance at survival.
Mm.
But we ain't animals and beasts like that. The only way we go get survival is keeping these, coming to the Most High for what we need. But see, the animals, they follow different rules. They don't have these rules to live by. They ain't got no rules. But whatever they do it good so that their offspring can live. And wasps being a better parent. I seen some frogs be better parents. I think the bullfrog dig a trench so that the tadpoles can make it, so they don't die in the sun. I like even the frogs can be better parents. Damn frog.
Let me get a precept to go with it. It's
What's up?
Job chapter 12, verse 7. But ask now the beast, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee, or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. So that's basically going into nature gonna teach you. Just like the brother going into. He watching wasps, frogs treat their family better than our people do sometimes. Nature gonna show you how things supposed to be done. And they doing that just off instinct.
Get a precept, King. Book of Lamentation, chapter 4 and verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostrich in the wilderness. So, like the brother going into, hey, we worse than damn beast out here, man. The Lord said we worse than the ostrich. Ostrich just lay the eggs. Hey, different predators can come by, swallow the whole egg up, right? Another bird come out of nowhere and peck at the egg. But the Lord said, even the sea creatures, the sea monsters, when you look at whales and different things of that nature, they give suck out of the breast. Meaning they give like the brother said, give their child a good chance of survival. It don't have to be just talking about actual breastfeeding, but actually giving them a chance, giving them the milk, this true word, teaching them and reproving them as they grow up, you know, so that they can have a better chance at life. Think about every Israelite say when we came to the truth, man, if I only would have known this truth earlier, if I only would have known this when I was a child, hey, guess what? Your child has that chance, though. And it has to come through you. You have to be the teacher and the one who's going to teach them in the morning and nighttime, when you're walking by the way, when you before you go to sleep. You know, we got to be the ones to teach our children. You got it, King.
Yes, sir. Get better, brother Zeke.
From everybody. Great point. Great point. Anybody else got to bring anything out before we close it up? All right. Well, I'm Brother Ezekiel.
Brother Benaiah.
Brother Ananias.
Brother Yakub.
Brother Bay.
We are A.O.I. Hope everyone got something out of the class. And we will see you guys next Friday night, same time. Shalom.
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 Shalom. Shalom.